Welcome to Marquee Backstage All-Access. I'm your host, Julie Milam. Because of the tremendous success of our television broadcasts, we've decided to launch the Marquee Backstage All-Access podcast. Here we can go more in-depth into the lives and stories of our guests. We'll share content you didn't get to see on TV, plus you'll have access to all 5 songs played by the artist, which were all recorded at Thunder Sound Studios. This week, we have an incredible band that originated in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Here to bring us their timeless rock sound, this is Dan, Luke, and the Raid with Fool from their debut album, Out of the Blue. Daniel, Kick, Anthony, George, welcome to Marquee Backstage. So this is the progression of how Dan, Luke, and the Raid started, right?
Yes.
That we just go around the couch?
Yes, we just sat down like that.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So tell us how this whole amazing group began.
Well, me and Kendrick were playing in a basement with our friend Spencer in a band called Mael, and started writing new material that was kind of different than that group, and decided to break off, and Kick decided to come with me. And then Anthony was coming to jam with us in the basement, and we were just hanging out, and me and Kick were playing with a couple other people, and they left for school. One guy moved to Nashville, all this stuff. And then Dylan Dylan.
Yeah, used to hang out at our house.
Yeah.
He would come over and jam with us all the time.
Yeah. Dylan started playing bass, and he was like, "Why don't we get Anthony playing keys?" And we were like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And he came in and started playing, and then when Patrick left, who was the guy that he didn't go to school. He got a job in Philadelphia. Dylan was like, "I'm moving to guitar." So he did, and Anthony was like, "Okay, I'm gonna move to bass now."
Musical charades.
Yeah.
Natural progression.
Yeah.
Everybody plays to their strengths.
Yes. It was funny because Dylan actually started on keys, so Dylan went from keys, bass, guitar, and then Anthony went keys, bass, and so it's just like
It was the natural progression of how
Yeah.
everybody became what they were supposed to be for this group and for
Yes.
what you are creating together.
Yes, and George is the newest addition.
Yes, we're excited to have you, George.
Yeah, just a few months under the belt, but they've made it feel very homey. I've known these guys for a long time, so it's been I felt very natural and good to be with the group on the road, especially.
You guys definitely have a great vibe together, but it's a really cool time to join the group.
Oh yeah,
Big things are happening. Brand new first record released recently. How does that feel to get to that stage?
It's been awesome. It's been a journey. We started a little while back recording, and but we wrote a lot of the songs in the studio actually. Exoskeleton was written during a sound check. We were sound checking, and
It was a total joke. He started playing a bass riff, and then I don't know who joined in first after that, if it was me or Dylan, and then it just kind of happened. Like
So we used to jam on that at practice when we were waiting for Daniel to show up. Me and you, we play it really fast, like faster than it is on the record.
Yeah. But they, Brad was like, "What?" He was like, "Just hit record." Brad was producing. He's like, "Hit record," and so he recorded that little sound check, and then I wrote the lyrics that night, and then the next day we went and recorded it. So it was like we wrote some of the stuff in the studio, and then there's some songs that were written 4 or 5 years before, just me sitting on or maybe 6 years now, sitting on my front porch just playing, and it was a journey. It's been cool.
Well, that's when the magic happens, though.
Yeah.
We've been able to watch you guys today just pick up instruments and just start playing whatever comes out. And I think that is the natural progression of the magic that you guys have made so far. It was not always intentional. You just come up with a bass riff and you're like just playing around.
Yeah.
And thanks to Brad for catching that.
Yeah.
And look what was built.
Yeah, we're excited. We've all been, wanted to release a record. We've all recorded and stuff with different groups and all that, but it's been cool to this is our project. And luckily New West came in before we started recording and decided to pick us up and get us in the studio. And so we're glad for it to be like an official debut record.
Absolutely. And share it with the world.
Yeah.
So a lot of hurry up and get this project out there and play for the masses. For you two, for the last two to join for this record coming out, how does that feel to immediately jump into it, especially for you, George?
Oh man, it was definitely a challenge at first. I'm really lucky that Dan helped me out learning all the guitar parts from every song on the record. But yeah, it's super crazy because you just learn the songs and it's like, oh, there's a show we have, and then another one and another one. And it's it's super wild being right into it. But that's just for mine. Anthony got a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, I mean it was easier when we wrote them all in the studio together. But at first, when I switched over to bass, we had just gotten back from a tour and we were heading out to California in 2 days. So I had to learn all the songs in 2 days.
Oh,
that we
yeah.
already
He's like,
had.
ooh, I forgot about that.
We didn't get to practice. So I was sitting in the back of the van just sleeping and just couldn't even hear me.
Sleeping and playing. That's what we do.
Just fall asleep like this with my bass. And then we played our first show, and it went okay.
That was the first time he played bass with the group was a show in Sacramento.
Yeah. After that, though, once we were in the studio and we wrote a lot of the new songs together, it was a lot easier because we wrote them together, and it was it's easier to know all the parts and stuff. But It was fun.
Kick, what do you think of the progression of how everything has really grown and taken over its own personality, its own deep emotion with this project since you and Daniel just started talking about it?
You know, it's been a very long time coming. As he said, we got together and started writing some of these songs 5 years ago, and then it's been a battle of patience. That's definitely I can say that for sure. But as Daniel would say, haste makes waste, and I've stuck with that for a long time now. So definitely a battle of patience. But I'm glad that it has all turned out the way it has. Because then you see a progression like this,
Right.
friends coming together, and it just takes a lot of time, and you know, music comes through pain and struggle a lot of times. Some of the best music in the world, and we've had to go through all of those things since we formed a band, and here we are now. So it's just gonna keep going, keep living on, and it'll keep coming.
Yep.
I think of it sometimes as you know, we have our own individual lives, and then when you bring similar to a marriage, how you have 2 people, you bring 4 people all together and cram in all of each other's lives, and something, it gets multiplied.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and you build on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like 4 identities making one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, yes.
And it's like it's a
Wow.
whole thing.
A lot of compromise. And
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
It's out of a lot of respect,
working
too,
together.
though.
yeah.
It is.
Compromise
to.
comes from respect and love,
Yeah.
and you guys
True.
definitely share that.
Yeah, we definitely love each other for sure.
Mhm.
Been through a lot together.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
You're just getting started, guys.
Yeah.
Drunk dying on a Monday evening, just lying behind the car. TV screaming that you wouldn't breathing, smoke moving in between the bars. Bones breaking, you can see my femur. My fever's rising and I'm getting too hot. Fire's burning, I can see you lying. Mr. Sarcasm, I can read your thoughts. Money's rolling, party starts. I think I'm dying, dancing. What's my reason? Exoskeleton, take your pills. You can drop it, now you can keep your notes. I'm an exoskeleton, take these pills. I think I'm dying, dancing. What's my reason? I try to sleep, but I can't be still. Halfway, heartbroken, overloaded, down a bit. Bottom listening, it's get straight daylight. My heart is racing, I'm about to pop. Tango turning's got me in her clutches. Just another reason to go over the top. Money's rolling, party starts. I think I'm dying, dancing. What's my reason? Exoskeleton, take your pills. You can drop it, then you can keep your notes. As I'm an exoskeleton, take these pills. I think I'm dying, dancing. What's my reason? I try to sleep, but I can't be still. Halfway, heartbroken, overloaded, down a bit. I'm trying to sleep, but I can't be still. Halfway, heartbroken, overloaded, down a bit. I'm trying to sleep, but I can't be still. Halfway, heartbroken, overloaded, down a bit.
That was Exoskeleton by Dan, Luke, and the Raid. If you missed their television episode, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Marquee Backstage and watch their full episode plus many more. Next on Marquee Backstage All Access, we sit down with drummer Kendrick Brent, followed by Dan Luke and the Raid's performance of Black Cat Heavy Metal. So, Kick, is there a musician that you would really love to have this kind of backstage experience with?
Yes, absolutely. I would love to have a backstage experience with Dave Grohl. He's been an idol of mine for a really long time, and I've admired, especially having been through what I've been through now in the past few months. I really admire how he brought himself after overcoming the death of Kurt Cobain and continuing on. I know he gets a lot of flack for it, even still to this day, but yeah, I'd absolutely love that, because he always seems as though he's stayed very humble, and it's all about the music and just continuing on, and not just giving the fans what they want, but also being connected with them and still staying true to yourself as a musician as well, because he's just putting out what he feels, just like we all are as musicians.
You absolutely are. Now, do you see yourself as having fans that view you through those same eyes?
I really hope not, because I'm not there, and to be quite honest, I hope I'm never there, and if I ever do get there, let's just say if I ever do, I would definitely like to be similar to Dave. He does a really good job of giving back, and we're all human. We're all fans of music, and we're all here for the same reason, which is what it comes down to is just love, whether it's love of music or love for each other, and that we're all human. We're all completely equal. We're all made the exact same in God's eyes.
Absolutely you are. And you know what? You guys connect with your music to your fans, but you also physically connect at all of your shows. Tell us how you do that.
Yeah. Well, after every show, whether or not we play last or if we're playing first, we're always out there either before or afterwards, and we're always at our merch booth. If not all four of us, sometimes just Daniel. But it's good to be able to put a face with, well, not just a face with everything, but actually be able to talk to us on a very normal level, because we're just excited to see the next band as everybody else.
Yes,
as the
you're
person
still
we're
music
talking to.
fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you communicate with your fans via social media and email personally?
Yes. Yeah, everything's done by us. And if we forget to reply, then yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, we do all of our social media ourselves, and if we take a little bit of time replying, sometimes we'll be playing shows. Who knows? But
you do have a job.
Yeah, we do all have full-time jobs. Other than this, I thankfully get to work here at Thundersound.
I love it. I love it. Well, we thank you for all you do for your fans. The connection is unbelievable, and we can't wait to share this new music.
Thank you, Julie.
the curb where the legends die. Wake up, left out, and I'm ready to fight. Black cap, heavy metal, and a neon sign. Black cap, heavy metal, and a neon sign. Black cap, heavy metal, and a neon sign. Passed out on the curb where the legends die. Wake up, left out, and I'm ready to fight. Black cap, heavy metal, and a neon sign.
We hope you're enjoying the talent of Dan, Luke, and the Raid as much as we are. For photos, previews, and promos of our guests, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Marquee Backstage. Now let's take a more intimate look at the band with lead singer Daniel Schultz. Then get ready for the band's performance of Money Mouth, recorded at Thunder Sound Studios. Earlier you were playing Lean On Me.
Mm-hmm.
That really embodies what you guys mean to one another.
Yeah. Yeah, we just, we've always been good friends. Me and Kick have always have been friends since middle school, and something about it, we just all came together, and it's not just, people tend to think that bands are just best friends and all this stuff, and that's not always true with a lot of bands. It really isn't. People see, them up on stage every night and just assume that. But with us, I mean, it really is. We really are, like, the best friends I've ever had in my whole life, and that we've been through a lot of stuff to need to lean on each other, and I was just playing that randomly, but I think I see what you're saying, how it's kind of special us being here, and we all go through things individually, but as a collective we've all gone through a lot of trial, and so to be able to come together and be together, it's really important to us.
So when you came up with the title of this new record, Out of the Blue, tell me how that came about, because that's another great description of you guys just really coming together.
Yeah, Anthony and I were on the phone trying to figure out a name for the album, and we were scrolling through books, both of us, and he was turning through Hunter S. Thompson, and he just goes, "What about Out of the Blue?" And I was like, "Yes, absolutely, that's it." So I called Dylan. Dylan was super stoked about it. He called Kick. Kick was stoked about it, and I called him back. I said, "What'd Kick say?" He said he loved it. And he's like, "What'd Dylan say?" He's like, "He loved it." So we just all agreed that's what it was. And it makes sense. Dan, Luke, and the Raid, Out of the Blue, our first record. So, yeah.
So what about the album cover? Who designed it?
Dylan and I, another phone conversation. We were talking about we'd tried a few things, and we were just like, I don't know if it really is the embodiment of the music, if it fits the music, and so Dylan was like, "What about something simple, like a chair?" And I was like, "Yeah, totally." And I was just like, "What about like a blue school chair, like a chair from elementary school, high school, middle school?" And he was like, "Absolutely." So we found this chair, and the chair looks a lot bigger than it is, but it's actually like a kindergarten or preschool chair. I think Kick found it on Facebook Marketplace for he found 2 of them for $5 in Clarksville, Tennessee, and went and drove and got them.
Where are the chairs now?
We've got one, and then I think Yellowberry, the guys from Yellowberry took the picture just in there. It was actually, their studio was closed. They had just moved out of the studio. They still had a key, so they went in there just for the white void and took a picture. I think we left him with a chair. Okay. I think so.
Something
yeah.
to remember you by.
Yeah.
So the journey has been significant. Where do you anticipate this journey going from here?
We love music, and we love playing for people. the more and more we go, the more and more we're reminded of why we do it. The more things and responsibilities that come with it, we realize that all we've ever wanted to do was play music for people and make records. And we're just going to keep pushing and in remembrance of why we do it and what we're doing and what we love. And you know, we've lost people, and as I've mentioned, Dylan was our guitarist, and he passed away recently, along with many other friends, including Billy Swayze, who ran this studio, and Tiger Merritt, who lived here, and he'd make little stuff all the time. But you know that we definitely have them in mind when we do this, to keep going, not just for ourselves, but even though we do love it, but for them and to remember them. And we talked about the chair, and that's kind of, you know, it didn't have any meaning. It was just we just thought it'd be a cool looking thing, but now it's kind of like this empty chair that, you know, who's sitting there. And we definitely have Dylan in mind in that, and we want to keep going, and we're so glad to have something with his name and his work imprinted in it with us. Not just, you know, he's done lots of stuff, but to have something we all did together and remember that, and remember what he did and what he contributed and all these things, it's definitely a driving force. So it's all for love and for our friends and our family and for our fans. And those who we have, we want to hold closer, and those who we've lost, we want to remember.
Lying in bed.
If you want to hear more of Dan Luke and the Raid, you can follow them on social media at Dan Luke and the Raid. Make sure to follow us as well on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Marquee Backstage. We'd like to thank Thunder Sound Studios for letting us film our show from their fully equipped analog and digital recording studio complex in Franklin, Kentucky. For more information about Thunder Sound, please visit thundersound.com. Next time on Marquee Backstage All Access, we'll go behind the scenes with Alabama native Jeremy Noble. A lifelong fan of Hank Jr., Willie, Waylon, and Vern, will hear how these legends help shape his powerful Southern rock sound. Here is Dan Luke and the Raid with Disco Is As Disco Does. Until next time, I'm your host, Julie Milam. I'll meet you next week on Marquee Backstage All Access.
Disco is as disco does. Hide me underneath the scum. Leave me out behind the fuss. Disco is as disco does. All the bad boys they have fun. Well, the star should take me up. The difference lost the touch. Disco is as disco does. The old punks they can drop the buzz. This disco is as disco does. And all my friends have turned to dust. This disco is as disco does. Disco is as disco does. You're the diamond kings of smut. Sink your teeth and suck the blood